were you a Buddhist, Taoist, or were you a free thinker?
Free thinker, I would say. Like since childhood, my parents would like serve, I think, Taoist. But then when the time my mom started to work, I think when I was 7 years old, like she go back to work, then they start to like remove those idols because of like no time to worship. So then that's why I understand it's like, okay, we can send away their God anytime. So it's like, okay, that's my understanding from it lah. Then I think I got a bit of experience like going to church when I was 7, invited from a childhood friend. But then I remember when I was there, it's just like, there's not like a Sunday school here. It's like exposed to some games. Some games are some IQ games, and play some games. That's my impression. But I do like to hang out with Christians because for me, I think Christians all like appear to be quite friendly, peaceful. The way I see how their family operating, like how they talk to each other, their parents, right? My friends' parents, like very peaceful, very like I do like that kind of family environment as compared to mine, right? It's like a lot of arguments. That's why I feel that okay, Christian family is like very quiet and very good one. So, but then I didn't know that Christianity can be like preached to others like us. I thought it's like, oh, the parents have to be Christian, then only I can be Christian. So if my parents are not Christian, then I cannot be Christian.
Right.
So that's my understanding. And my friend didn't actually tell me about what is the gospel as well. So that's why I've been like being a non-Christian for like 20 plus years lah.
Right.
Until a friend like he actually want to evangelize our other friend, but then somehow I got kind of like in the same setting. Then I got the chance to listen to the gospel.
Even though it wasn't to you.
Somehow it's like I think initially his initial plan was to aim that friend. I was just a friend that he brought together to the setting, the dinner setting or whatever. So then I got to understand about Christianity, then the 2 ways to live thing. Then I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like talks about God. I do somehow know that the God exists. It's just that I don't know how he exists lah. So now I feel that wow, very impressive. Like you talk about how creation, how about the future judgment. I feel the logic is there. And then I was like, okay, I want to know more, and I want to know why the world is like this now, and why relationship is bad. Like not only family, why girlfriend boyfriend relationship that I was in back then is like quite terrible. So I was like, what is marriage about? What is like divorce? What is life about lah? So I do ask this kind of big question, and somehow this friend got answers lah. Somehow he briefed me a bit, which I feel like okay, I do want to know more. And he said, why not we come out again, then I show you from Bible. Then I was like, okay, can. Then from then on, I got to have exposure to Bible, read together. Then he helped me to think about it. Then I was like, okay, I want to. Then he started to ask me to go to church. Then I was like, okay, can. Then that's how I happened to be in CRC.
Which friend was this?
Which year?
Which friend was it?
Oh, David.
David Yong.
Okay. So I remember the first time I went there, I think it was 2013, end of the year. I think it's October, November like that. And that time the series was Acts, the book of Acts, which I was like, because my expectation, right, is like I go to church, I want to know about Jesus, all these things, Christianity. But then when I happen to be there, right, okay lah, as usual lah, like there's MC, then singing, right? I was like, okay. Then until Pastor Robin on the stage, I was like, this is a pastor. Then he said, yeah. Then I was like, so young one. Because my imagination of pastor is
very old.
Like with uniform, very serious. But then I think because of the book as well, it's a story like lah. So the way he explained is like very, very like telling a story and a lot of drama. Okay. The thing is that I can't understand also because of my English. My English was very bad. Even now also lah. But yeah, I can't understand at all. And also it's like in the end of the book already. So I don't know what's happening. I only remember it talks about the storm thing, like they are facing a storm.
Yeah.
Then how it's like 2-3 hours back then, and with Pastor Robin's Australian slang, I was like, I cannot. Yeah, so I was quite kind of like scared. I said, okay, I told David, I don't want to come back. I said, why not you help me tuition until I'm ready, that I only come back, because no point, right? I go there, like you have to keep translate everything to me. Then I was like, I don't waste your time. Then why not we come out at other time, then you tuition me first, like to prepare me first. Then okay lor, then only he started a PFU lah, so called like like Bible study with me, explain more things to me. Then only when January 2014 I started a Romans series. Then I was like, okay, new series, I think I can start from new chapter. Then I think it's easy to cope lah. That's how I started to join consistently lah.
As a young Christian, what was some of the toughest thing to accept about Christianity?
Okay, I think Romans, right, the most tough theology to be accepted is predestination. But for me, I don't have issue on that.
Right.
I do feel that God is God lah. He's so big, and this is His world lah. He can make whatever rules that He wants to lah, if He is God. So I do not have problems on that. But you are saying, sorry, what's the
toughest thing to accept from Christianity?
Yeah, I think it's more like the mission, like the event, Matthew 28,
right.
Like we have to go and preach, go and therefore preach to all the nation. Then I was like, it's very tough for me to like step out to talk about this to others. I do try lah. At first I was quite gung ho as well. I thought, oh, this is good news, right? No one tell me about that. Then I was like, okay, I want to tell others. So when I try to tell, and I got a lot of rejections, that makes me feel that, okay, this good news is not like accepted by everyone. It's not just that they don't know, and hence they are not Christian. It's that from time to time I learn about the total depravity, all these things, rebellions. Then I started to feel that, oh, it's hard. It's not easy. Because I thought all this while I thought that, it's just that because no one tell me, hence and now people tell me, I accepted. So for me it's like, okay, I had to grasp the depth of God's grace and mercy to an unworthy sinner like me. I thought that, okay, as long as you got exposed to this knowledge about who God is, you should accept it. And that's why facing rejection is quite struggle for me.
Okay, got it. So you mentioned about some of the struggles you had at the start. What was it that kept you coming? You know what I mean? Of course, for a period of time you didn't want to come, but then I'm sure after that you started coming again. So what was it that kept you wanting to keep coming?
I do try to say. Initially I thought every church is the same. Then I told David, cannot lah, seriously I cannot follow lah, cannot understand English some more. I want to find Chinese church. Then he said, okay, I bring you to go visit other church. Then he brought me to, I think, a few. That's where I was shocked lah. Like a certain church okay, but he brought me to one where they have the rally, the speak tongues. Then everyone fell down. Then I was like, what happened? Then there's a people around us like bow down and cry. I was like, then it's a very dim environment. I was like, what is happening? I don't understand. I just follow. Then I try to look around. Yeah, then after that I was like, okay, I go back to CRC. Yeah, that was quite then only I realized, okay, not all the church are the same. Then slowly, I slowly, I have to, I know, okay, CRC is the one lah. And also, thanks to our brother and sister lah, who have been showing a lot of patience and love for me. Yeah, some even buy books for me. Okay, why not you start reading this book? It can help you to build up some foundation. Then Old Testament also is a struggle for me. Yeah, I told them lah, I said, you all different, you all got Sunday school background, I don't have. You all can understand what David the king, what they done, all the Old Testament, what Samuel. I was like, dah lah, I tak ada, then I cannot follow. Then they bought me the what? According to plan. Then in Chinese one, there's a Chinese one, they asked me to read. Yeah, that's how they help lah. That's how they show me love lah, and keep me accountable lah.
Okay, got it. So what got you to want to attend? Sorry, what got you to want to commit to CRC as a member?
Oh, okay. I think after a few months I joined, I think it's very natural to be a member of CRC. I mean, to a local church. Then I was like, okay, I started to join the membership course. Then I think after a few months, I found it very tough to follow the syllabus, and also because of commitment, like every Friday have to attend. Then I was like, okay, because of work commitment, then I was like, okay, I drop out. Then after the next batch, I commit again like that. And why is because I think I do appreciate this kind of environment, which helps me to learn how to be a Christian that's godly, that's serving God rightly, according to how He deserves it. And I do want to commit in this kind of church. And I think it's very natural for me. I don't have any reluctance. I think it's like, okay, become Christian, then you commit to church. As simple as that. So it's just that initially I don't have much. I think it's quite bombarded with a lot of like new things. Then I was like, wow, cannot breathe already. And then I was like, okay, give me some time. Then in the second year, then only I commit like that.
Right.
Yeah.
That's okay. Who's the top?
Okay.
Alright, yeah. Okay, got it. So was it tough, the membership course? Was there anything that like
tough? Because there's a lot of readings, and the first 4 sessions is already Romans, which I thought I'm familiar. Then when I write down, then there's a one part like rephrase in our own words with the chapter 3. Then I was like, how to rephrase that? I don't know how to do it. Then after the session, like 5, 6, 7, all is what nature, nurture, structure, all these things, like reading. And English not good man, then have to like spend a lot of time looking for dictionary, all these things. Then I think somehow, and with work also, right, then there's a lot of drag lah. I think, but in the end, okay lah, can make it lah.
So just now Paul was telling me a little bit about how he had to go to East Malaysia to do posting. So we went with him as well. So what was your side of the experience?
I think I stayed in CRC for 14 to 19, which is I think 5 years plus. And we got married in 2019. So then after a few months of settle down, like I resigned all these things, tender. Then I flew to Sabah lah, and started a new life there lah, as a new married woman there. When I flew to Sabah, then first thing is that first 8 months I was jobless. I kind of like, and Paul is working. Then I was like at home, I don't know what to do. Then I tried to keep searching while searching job, all these things. Then the church that we attended was a Chinese Methodist, and I from time to time, because we are not the members there, so we cannot serve. So for me, it's like slowly, okay, I can see, okay, we've been in several churches there lah. So throughout the experience was that I just feel that it's very different. sermon is short, probably like 40 minutes, okay, that's not a problem, but it's somehow okay. It's just that the content, right, it can be Bible preaching, but then the application can be very man-centered, I would say. Yeah, it's very like, how come, okay, you preach with context, right, whatever, it's like, okay, the direction is good, but then when you conclude it with, okay, we should love each other more, we should be patient with each other, then I was like, why so different one? Like the landing is like, then every week after the sermon, then we both spend a lot of time to discuss about it, because I think and also it makes me feel that every week we just go there as a Sunday Christian. We just go there, and then after sermon, after gathering, we go back. Then Monday to Saturday, okay, there's a CG lah. Then other than that, okay, there's some calling us to go do some social works, which is quite new for me. I would say it's a new experience, but yeah, it makes me feel very struggle because they will use Bible verse to say that the reason is like this. Okay, we do social work is to do good, right? Is to help the needy people, so that they will know God loves them. I was like, why like that one? Like very different with my understanding. Do good works is not like this. Yeah, then all these struggles. And then Paul is keep encouraging me, okay, if you free you didn't work you go do lah, go join them, go see what they are doing. Then I was like, oh, I don't want. I was like, yeah, so so there's a drama there lah. Then slowly, I think about 9 months after that, then I started to feel I want to give up already, give up Christianity. Because I feel like no point to continue to go church. Then especially during the CG when the Bible study, right? Then sometimes I will say a different opinion when they're saying exegete the text in a wrong way. Then I will say, the text is not saying that. If we see the previous verse, right, it's like this. So this part is talking about this thing. Then you have to link this. Then they will say, oh, there's one of the view to look at it, but today we want to focus this view. So then I was like, ayo, how lah, like like, yeah, it's very very tough for me, and every week in week out I feel that I'm just being a Sunday Christian. I just do my duty as a like show face. It's like just a religion to check in. I just feel that it's purposeless. I can't see myself serving God in that way. I feel that it's against my conscience, and I feel very weary, and I don't want to do it anymore. I just like every Sunday I just told Paul that I don't want to go to church. Then he said, no, we must go. And then I was like, I don't want to do it. Then there's some fights happening. Then until a point, I think somehow it's God's grace. During that time I do approach CRC people, a few close brothers and sisters. I do tell them that I'm in the age of want to apostatize. I try to seek help lah, because I'm alone there, sort of alone, only with Paul there. And Paul most of the time like work all these things, right? Then I feel like, and some more, if not working, right, one person it can be very free, then start to think a lot of like nonsense already. Then I try to seek help and then God lah, they do pray for me, they do give me some advice. Then I try to read Bible, try to remind myself, okay, my identity. Then somehow at one point, then there's some CRC people saying that, oh, why not you help my mother who is there to do Bible study. Then there's a few more aunties or new people, right? Then we just try to ask, hey church, anyone interested to have Bible study, come our house. Then there's a starting point lah, like what we call that, there's a turning point of the drama, where I kind of seeing that, okay, there's some needs here. Then I was reminded that okay, I need to be mission minded. Then I need to take care of God's people. Then maybe there's a God's sheep who is needed, need help. Then every week we arrange Bible study, come our house. Then there's a chance for us to show hospitality. Then sometimes I cook. Then things started after 2-3 months. Then I feel much better. I feel more alive. I felt that okay, this is a way to go. Then started got more people joining, and of course got people stop coming. Then throughout the year, we did it in one auntie's bookstore, who's being very kind to offer her bookstore as a place for us to go there, because the group starting to be bigger So then that's that's why I think it's kind of like help us to be insane when we try to help others to teach others about what's the Bible, how to exegete all these things, and when we see their growth, it's really satisfying
So what was the experience like when you finally came back to CRC?
When I
When you finally came back to CRC?
I think the second year was a MCO year, which everyone of us stuck at home, right? Then I think it's also a good thing that I can see is that because CRC started to have a virtual Sundays, or I think back then was recorded one. It's not like live one. So, but we still have to wait a few weeks for them to upload. So it's very require a lot of discipline for us to go back to listen. But then it's still some grace. It's still a grace of God, given that we have the chance to listen through online, and and I think that's how, because I think that time was doing the OT series, right? And then I was like, okay, we both learned a lot, and it did help us to keep us mature, get some spiritual food and keep us going Then on the second year of MCO, that's where we coming back. And so when the time I entered to CRC, right, I think that time was still MCO, all these things, right? Then but there was a time where we first entered to the building for a meeting. Then I was like, wow, when I see the building, I was like, whoa, after 2 years, then I was like, suddenly I feel that, wow, very, very, very touching. I feel like, wow, every house, right? Then there's some changes of the painting, the ground floor renovation work was done, because back then don't have one. Then I was like, wow, so pretty. Then so all the light bulbs, then all the wall, all the encouragement, the photos, I feel like so good coming back. Then that's where I appreciate even more. Back then I probably take CRC as granted because it's just my, how to say, because I was started there so after some time it's like that, like comfort zone So after went to a battlefield, I always say the 2 years in Sabah is a wilderness like being tested cao like that in wilderness. Then when I come back, it's like a heaven like that. So that's why I feel very I think God has been disciplining me, teaching me in that way, maturing me up in this way and I do appreciate what CRC has done for all the groundwork, foundation work for the first 5-6 years, which equipped me, and so that I can benefit whatever I learned in Sabah And there's still a group of people is there, and led by elder now. Every week, for them to continue to learn So I think it's thank God for that.